Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. We are doing a 2023 Tarot deck haul, and I am excited to share with you the decks that I added to my collection this year. And I did this also for my Oracle decks. I did a 2023 Oracle deck haul, so be sure to check it out if you haven't already done so. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my decks. Okay, so first up, the Albano-Waite Tarot. Oh my goodness, these next few decks that I'm going to be sharing with you were sent by a dear friend subscriber. You know who you are. I didn't get permission to share your name, so I'm not going to share, but she's a supporter of the channel and has been for a good long while. And I'm just so grateful because, yeah, she had some decks she wanted to unload, and she graciously offered them to me, and I'm so excited. And yeah, let's get into it. So the Albano-Waite Tarot. I have the Centennial edition of the Smith-Waite. I love the coloration of it. I just really appreciated that particular, Rider-Waite-Smith deck, if you will. But not many others have captured my attention. You know, there's so many different clones out there, but this one did. I just never, you know how you have those decks, you know it's always there. You're like, one day I'm going to get it, and you just don't end up getting it. That would be this deck for me. But I have a feeling this deck and I are going to be being connected, because I've been going back to the basics of using my Smith-Waite Tarot over and over again in the readings this year that I've been doing for clients and for myself, and just really drawn to it. And I think that we all who have been collectors, and especially readers, we just want to sometimes go back to the basics. So this deck, I had a feeling, would be a nice addition to my collection. I love the backs. I'm going to show you a few. I mean, if you've seen a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you've seen them all. So I won't take you through all of them. But yes, love the color. It's just so brilliant and so beautiful and vibrant. Look at the Empress. Just glorious. I'll take you through a few more. I don't want to occupy all of y'all's time. Look at the Hierophant. Oh, it's brilliant. Colors just pop. So vivid. I can't wait to use it. Probably I'll use it tonight in some readings. Chariot. So let me show you a couple more. Here's the Strength card. She's so beautiful. And look at this. The Hermit. Oh, look at the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, I'm wearing the Wheel of Fortune. You see that? And Justice. So yeah, that is the Albano-Waite Tarot. And I am so excited because I cannot wait to use it. And yeah, it's probably, out of all the ones I'm going to be showing you today, the most traditional of the tarot decks that I have. The next decks I'm going to talk about is by the same creator, but it is what precipitated the whole thing, where this dear subscriber has sent me these decks, because I was expressing, I think back in August, that the Wandering Moon Tarot had been on my wish list for a while, and there's a word that the creator is going to retire this deck because there's a lot of counterfeiting going on. And I think a lot of creators get exhausted having to deal with that and contend with that whole situation. And so I was like, oh wow, this deck is going to become out of print. And the friend of mine, she was like, she has it, she's willing to send it to me. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. It's like Christmas. And it literally was like Christmas, because I've been wanting this deck for a long time. And I think in August is when I published that video, and then we were going back and forth for like the month of September of like, okay, you know, I want to pay for shipping and all of that. And she sent the decks to my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law was going to be traveling here to the DR at Christmas time, and that's why I'm recording this video, December 29th, and she brought them on her, you know, with her luggage. So she got here December 26th, and I was like, it was like Christmas. So I was like, yes, so excited. Let's go through these, shall we? Look at the box. Thank you, friend. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, so here's the insides. And see, this is what you don't get when you get the counterfeit stuff. And hey, to each his own on that. I have my own personal beliefs. I really try to stray away from intentionally seeking out counterfeit decks. But that's also because I'm a collector, and you all know how I feel about decks and how I feel about artists, more importantly, and creators. And so I want my collection to be as pure as possible. Here's the guidebook. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Here is the gilding. Oh, it does, the lighting doesn't even do it justice. Oh my God. And I'm not going to show all the cards because all the decks I'm going to discuss today, only a few have full deck flip throughs of them. And if they do have them, I'll be sure to link them in the description box. Some of them are not even published on the channel yet, but I think that if you click on the link, even though it's unlisted and not published, you'll still be able to watch it, I think. All right, here's the Fool. Oh, look at that. I haven't even fully gone through this one yet, so I will be doing a deck flip through at some point very soon. The Magician. I have very few white space, black and white decks in my collection, so that's what drew me to this. This is like modern depictions. It's beautifully hand drawn. It's just glorious, really. I could see myself working with this deck a lot because it just feels so like fresh perspective. Like here's the Chariot. Look at that. Here's Justice. So right now, just so you all know, at the time of the recording of this video, the deck is still in print. However, very soon the creator will be retiring them, and she's only selling one deck at a time because of the fact that she's retiring them. So if you're like a collector who, you know, prospects and you're looking for that soon to be out of print deck, well, here's your chance. Some people are very averse to prospecting of decks and stuff like that. But here's the reality of the situation. People are collectors, and tarot decks are something that we collect. Here's Death. So you can get in your feels all about it, but at the end of the day, it can be big business, and people do sell them, you know, to the secondary market, and they make money. And that's what it is. I do collect decks, but I'm also looking for decks that I can work with. It's not just for the sake of collecting. I do also want to use them. I am a reader, so it is what it is with that. But the collector in me is always like, oh my gosh, this is about to go out of print. There's a little element of FOMO with that. But with this one, you know, it just worked out. I'm grateful. Look at Judgment. This is unique Judgment. There's the World. Okay, so we'll stop there. She's got extra bonus cards too. But if I do a full flip through, you'll be able to see those cards. And the guidebook is nice and thick and chunky, you know. Before we move on though, a nice surprise that came was that my friend sent The Wandering Echo, also by Rachel Jean, and it might be Raquel Jean. But this is a major arcana deck, and I'm showing this with you. I'm showing these two together, I should say, because they're by the same creator. It is a major arcana deck, so you're not going to get the full 78. You're just going to get the majors. But there's bonus cards in here. Here's the backs. And it comes with a guidebook, a thick one at that, which is cool. I don't think I have any major arcana oracle only. I don't typically go for them, but this one is special. Let me show you. This one is special. And really and truly, you could have powerful readings with a major arcana only deck. People have done them for me. Like, I've gotten a reading with a major arcana. I just never added one to my collection. And it's nice that this one is my first one. That's the Empress. Here's the Emperor. Here's the Hierophant, but it's been changed to the Teacher. Beautiful. Here's the Lovers. Oh. Glorious. Here's Justice. Oh, I want to show you the Hermit. I'm going to stop here because I think what I will do is when I do a flip through of the Wandering Moon Tarot, I will also do a flip through of the Wandering Echo when the time comes. It's just been kind of hectic. My in-laws are in town. They are very active, and I love them for that. They're getting us out of our comfort zone, but between them, trying to cram in readings in between the visit, it's been hectic. So hopefully as we move into January, I'll have more time to record some flip throughs. All right, on to the next one. We've got the Pulp Tarot by Todd Alcott. I've been wanting this deck a long time. I think there's an indie version. I think this is mass market, I believe. And my friend, she sent this and she trimmed the deck. And that actually is what appealed to me, that she had trimmed it. And I was like, oh, great. And then I'm going to edge it at some point, maybe with something like this pretty color like this. And I know many of you probably have this deck. And I think there's also the horror tarot that I'm thinking about getting at some point, because I'm into like horror films, like the old classics and everything. So I'll probably be getting that at some point in the future. Not sure when, but at some point I will be getting the horror tarot. And let's just go through some of these. So here's the card backs. And so she trimmed it, and I was like, there's something about getting a secondhand deck that has already been kind of, changed or somehow modified. And if you were a little gun shy modifying your decks, this, getting a secondhand deck that's already been modified, takes the pressure off, and then you get to benefit from it, and you get to add to it. Like, what else do you want to personalize it? For me, it's going to be edging them, because look, perfect, primed for being edged in a pretty deep color. Haven't decided. I'm thinking like blood red. I'm thinking the Lovers. I was when I got the deck the night of, I was going through, I kept them in order because at some point I want to do a flip through of them. We'll see. And I was in bed just going through, and I was like, wow, this is really a nicely done deck. I mean, you probably be like, how can you possibly, with these old like pop culture pulp, images, Pulp Tarot, how are you going to manage to execute 78 cards? And it looks like the creator did a fine job. We have Justice, Look at Pam Grier. Nice. The Hanged Man. Super fun. Death. Adds a little element of fun and lightness to a reading. And I love the vintage feel of it, you know. And yeah. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun with this one. I am. I just love that it's already trimmed. Super easy to handle. Here's the moon. So we'll stop there. Like I said, at some point it is my hope to do a full flip through. And it comes with a little white book. That is the Pulp Tarot. So these next decks, 2 decks I'm talking about, it's created by Star Priestess Tarot. I did do flip throughs. I just haven't published them yet to the channel. I do plan to publish them ASAP. So keep a lookout for them if you see this video first. I'm hoping to publish them first and then do this video, but we'll see how it goes. So don't know how the order. But oh my gosh, love this deck. This is the Low Country Gullah Tarot. And I am hooked. I'm hooked to it. I have been using it for readings for friends. You know, it's the holiday season. I've been linking up with friends. My friends know that I'm a reader. So naturally they want a reading. And I was like, well, I'm breaking in some decks. So I'm going to use some decks here on y'all. And let me tell you, the readings have been spot on. I've done a couple of readings for myself with it. I treated myself to these 2 decks I'm talking about right now as like a Christmas present. So they didn't disappoint. Yes, it was a pretty penny. I got them on Etsy and I have no regrets. It's a nice bang to go out of on 2023 in terms of deck collecting for me, because I do plan on doing a low buy, no buy in 2024. Very low buy. We're talking a tiny budget than what I normally spend on decks each year. That's okay. I have plenty of decks to get into. Plenty. There's 9 of Pentacles. And it has keywords here. You know, some people aren't really into keywords. I don't mind them. I actually like them. And of course, there's always more keywords that you can add, that you know as a reader, if you're seasoned. And if you're new to tarot, it just helps you to kind of move your way along in a reading. So, for example, here's the Emperor, right? Gorgeous Emperor. We have mature man, stable, reliable, structured, disciplined, provider, protector. But I also know that the father is associated with the Emperor. So that's a keyword there. You know, authority is another keyword I associate with the Emperor energy. So just because it's not on here doesn't mean it ain't out there. You can use your own keywords that you know are related, but also it's helpful to be like, oh, what does this mean? What is going on? And have a little crutch. Let's do a few more. Here's the moon. I won't show all because I for sure did a full flip through of this deck. So please check that video out if you would be so kind. Let me know what you think of it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay. By the same creator, Star Priestess Tarot, we have the African American Black, Modern Block Tarot. Here's the card backs. This one does not have keywords on it, or it has, you know, 8 of Cups. It has that, but it, you know, it doesn't have all the little keywords there. So that might appeal. This might appeal a bit more to folks who don't want all the keywords. Here's the Page of Swords. Oh, I love this star. I've used this a few times, not as much as the Low Country Gullah. But it is just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at the 9 of Cups. Here's a 10. Here's the 8 of Coins. So yeah, I won't keep going on and on because I got more to show you. Let's keep going. Next one is a Hay House deck. The next, I think, yeah, this is a Hay House deck. This is the 5th Spirit Tarot. I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to flip through it yet, or I've flipped through it, obviously. I've used it a couple of times, but I haven't really gotten to know it much. But so far, I like what I see, what I feel. And I'm happy I added it to my collection. You know, when you got a lot of decks, you're not gonna have all the time in the world to just sit and get to know a deck. And this is why it is important to be intentional about what you add to your collection. So you don't always feel this sense of pressure that I've gotta use this deck, I gotta use this deck. I have friends, y'all know who you are, that have thousands of decks. And one of these days I wish I could just come over your house and play with your decks all day. But until then, I'm sitting at about 205. Can you believe it? It feels like so many. I will be giving away a few decks to a friend that I know out here who is into cards. And she was like, yeah, I'll take some of your decks. So I'll be giving those, some to her. So I want to keep it. I think I want to keep my collection a nice, tight 200. I have the Fool. Oh my gosh, I have not. Did I put it back in order, or has it just been like this? Can't believe that. I love this High Priestess. The Empress. The Emperor. I love the feel of this cardstock. It's a matte, but it's not really. No, I just like the texture of it. I'm appreciative that Hay House has been really trying to step up their game in terms of their card stock. So yeah, I don't know if I have even done a reading with this, to be honest with you all. It's still in order. I might have, in preparation to do a flip through, put them all back in order. I think that's what my memory is telling me, but I'm not 100% sure. Life of a tarot tube content creator. Like, I don't know what I did. So many decks. But I'm pretty sure that's what ended up happening. I was like, oh, I want to show people this deck. Let me put it back in order. And then I never got to the video. I love this Hermit. So more to come. What's going to be great about my death year is that I want to be able to spend more time with my decks and do deck and focus videos. Those are where I have worked with the decks for a little bit. I can share with you my process and how I work with a particular deck and show you my favorite cards, show you the ones I struggle with and why I struggle with them, why I love a particular card. So it makes for a more complete experience. When you're doing an unboxing, first impressions video, those are fun for the creator because it's like Christmas. And you're opening it up and you're taking in the packaging, you're taking in, the feel of it. Is it gilded? Is it, thick cardstock? And you're smelling the newness of the deck, all of the things, right? Just senses heightened. But I like to share the full experience of a deck. That's why I like to do my series Deck and Focus, as well as Where is the Deck Now? Because I like to get real with you all. Look at the backs, it's so pretty. I like to get real and share with you, do I still have the deck that I did an unboxing for a few years ago? Why or why not? And then Deck and Focus it's more like, I guess it would be more like a deck review, but it's more my experience with it and sharing it with you. I love the Devil. Let's do a couple more. Here's the Tower. It's a great modern deck. Feels so good. Star. The moon. And this is a mass market deck, obviously, with Hay House. But it was independently produced at some point. I just didn't get it. So that's okay. You know, that's all good. Sometimes you have to miss out on things, and that's all right. Because this will make it where I won't mind banging this one up because I know I can get a replacement. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. All right, that is the Fifth Spirit Tarot. Next one, I'm hoping to have the creator and friend of mine on the channel and have her walk us through how she created this deck and what was her inspiration and all the things. And I hope she's watching this. She will want to link up where I either come visit her channel or she comes over here. And that's Auntie Kay. Oh my goodness. Krista. This is like, I think my second deck of hers that I have in my collection. And I do want to have her on so I can, well, discuss some things with her. And this is my first Marseille deck. This is the Marseille Prendre Vie by Auntie Kay's Tarot. And it was successfully funded on Kickstarter, which was super exciting. You know, Kickstarters are fun. You know, you'd be like down to the wire, like, is it going to fund? What's going to happen? Well, it funded and promptly sent out because she's been creating decks, quite a few now. So she has experience. So it is my first Marseille deck. And hey, friends, I am in the market for a really good Marseille guidebook. Like, I really need your guidance on that because I've got a few on my shopping list on Amazon that I'm going to get for my Kindle. Preferred if it's a Kindle book, by the way. But can you recommend to me some great guidebooks for Marseille? Now, some people are like, oh, you could use any guidebook. But no, Marseille is different because we were really leaning into correspondences. And so I really would love a deck or a guidebook for this deck. But any Marseille, and this is my first Marseille. I've never been inspired to get a Marseille deck. Yes, Pip decks, I have a few, and I do enjoy them, but never Marseille. I just wasn't called to it. Truth be told, I was like, I'm not feeling the Marseille decks. But when I saw hers, I was like, oh, I'm feeling it. So I'm not going to do a full flip through because, like I said, I've got an idea percolating where maybe she and I will do either a joint video, Krista, or a live if our internet can manage that. We'll see. We'll see if she's up to it. Here's the Conjurer. Okay. That's the Magician. And you remember the Fool is at the end. A little different, right? Here's the High Priestess. And this is the Popus. Empress. The Emperor. I just knew that this deck would really resonate with me because here's the Hierophant, but the Pope is how it's depicted here. Oh, I love it. Because, let's face it, for better or for worse, the traditional Marseille is not very diverse, which is fine. You know, that's its lane, and that's fine. But I wasn't called to use it. But now I'm called to get to know the Marseille system a bit better. Here's the Lovers. I like the Lovers. Love the Lovers. Typically, the Lovers, FYI, many of you know this, but maybe some of you don't, is about a choice. And the older depictions would be that there's a man or, you know, two women to choose between. So in this case, we've got, it looks like 3 women. I like it. I like it. The Chariot. Justice. So my vision is when we're on together that we can go through the cards, and at that point I can just kind of inquire with her about some of her inspiration on these cards. The Hermit, Strength, Wheel of Fortune. Some people will be like, well, why would you get, oh, I love the Hanged Man. Why would you be into a pip deck or a Marseille deck? They're not, the pips or the courts, or not the courts, but the minors are not fully illustrated. There is something to be said about that, because then you get to memorize some of the correspondences, numerology, color. You get, your imagination and intuition can really be activated when you're working with non-illustrated pips. And, you know, there's something to be said about that. You don't have to always have fully illustrated. It really stretches your intuitive muscle to work with the Marseille, to work with a pip deck. I love the Devil. Ah, the Tower. She has House of God. Ah, I love it. Yeah, so I'll stop there because, like I said, I am hoping that sometime in the early new year that I can reach out to her and see what she thinks. Can we get together? Can we flip through this deck together and maybe do a little reading or something with it? That'd be fun. So next up, we've got the Unfolding Path Tarot by Athena Noctua. This is also a Hay House deck. This was also independently produced, but again, you snooze, you lose. You know, here's the thing about that. Sometimes I just want the mass market. You know, even when the independently produced deck is out, I just want the mass market because I know I won't treat it as precious if I got the independently produced deck. And I am a part of different groups that sell on the third, you know, where it's like third party or second hand deck. So I know if I really wanted it, I could probably get it on the independent level. But this is fine for now. Let me see if this is something I want to work with. And I do really like this deck. Here's the guidebook. You know how Hay House do. Here's the inside. I also want to do a flip through at some point of this deck. I haven't had, but I have been using it. I've been using it in client readings, and I have even tucked away my light seers. Oh, here's the card backs. I even tucked away my light seers, and y'all know how I felt about my light seers tarot, because I wanted to get outside my comfort zone, use a different deck, and start to employ some of the other decks I have in my collection. And this was one of them. And the readings are just bang on accurate. They're just glorious. This is a modern depiction kind of deck. You know, it's contemporary. It's just really, really fun. And I recommend it. I recommend this deck. I did record a 2023 or mass market top 10 tarot decks for 2023, or like it's a 2023 edition, if you will, because I like to keep that updated of decks I would recommend. And guess what? Spoiler alert, this is one of the decks I recommended. So there you have it. Look at that. Three of Wands. It's really beautiful. It's diverse. If you're seeking out a really diverse deck, to me, this deck, along with the Fifth Spirit Tarot, is diverse. And, you know, that matters to some of us. I feel like if you're making a contemporary or modern deck, there's no harm in adding a good heavy dose of diversity. Sometimes, you know, some of the decks that are inspired by the old world, it may be limited in how much diversity you can access and find if it's like a collage deck. But then also, you know, maybe it's a part of some sort of system that's from Italy, for example. I don't know, from France. So, you know, there's give and take with that. But if you're making a modern deck, why the hell not? Why can't you add a little more diversity? So I really enjoy it. My clients enjoy it, and it's a new fave. It's a new fave for sure. I'm happy to have it. It's pretty too. It's pretty, and it's white space. Look at that white space. Not everybody's a fan of white space. I like it. I think it frames the image beautifully. So yeah, that's the Unfolding Path Tarot. Hey, we're making our way through our list, friends. Okay, next up is the Alkebulah Tarot. This was sent to me by Phyllis. I will be sure to link in the description box her either her channel or her video for this deck. Love me some Phyllis. And she kindly sent this to me so I could do a review of it, and I fell in love with it. And now she has it available for sale. I think it's made playing cards, but I'm not 100% sure. Hence why I want to make sure I link the information, or like her link to her channel, in the description box. So if you're interested in purchasing it, you'll be able to do so. So here are the card backs, and it's beautiful. Oh my goodness, it's glorious. I've used it a couple of times for client readings, but mostly I've been called to use it for readings for myself, where I am inquiring about some, family stuff or ancestral stuff. And it's just read beautifully. I did use it for a client love reading, and this client has booked a new reading with me, and I'm probably going to use it again. Because sometimes I have decks for particular clients. Like I have like regular repeat clients who come to me every few months or something like that for a reading. And there's decks that I like to use for their particular readings. And in this case, I like to use this deck for her readings. And I'm going to be working on that this weekend. Look at Strength. So this was sent to me, and it's like full disclaimer, I didn't purchase it, but I am so happy it came into my collection. It's beautiful. It feels great in my hand, and yeah, I just really appreciate it, having it and receiving it. It really speaks to the season that I'm in my life, living abroad and exploring my spirituality in a foreign land to myself. And I don't know, there's certain decks that really are kind of, how do I say this? It's cementing, or at least, I don't know how to word it, but it's just basically saying like, this is the season that you're in. This deck represents it. So when if I ever move back to the States, for example, and I use this deck, I will remember that it came to me while I was living abroad, living in a foreign land, navigating new spiritual waters, and it will be very nostalgic for me, I don't know how else to put it. Look at the Four of Staffs. I'm just in love with it. I can't wait to work with it tonight. For client readings. It's glorious. There's the Eight of Drums, traditionally the Eight of Cups. So that is the Alkebulah Tarot. And maybe also I will link in the description box my flip through, because I did do a full flip through and review of this deck. Okay. She sent it for my honest review, and I did just that. So I'll be sure to put some links in the description box down below for you all. So we made it. We're to the last one, and that is the Boadicea Tarot of Earthly Delights by Paula Millette, and the Reader's Companion book is by Carolyn Kenner with Paula Millette. I backed this on Kickstarter, And you got to check out my unboxing video of it, and because I give you the whole history of like how I came to get to know this deck. And get the blue. And actually, it was way before it ever hit Kickstarter that I got to know this deck, because it was on the Fool's Dog app. And this was the only deck that I had on my cell phone for years. I downloaded the app, kept it for years and years and years, kept wishing that the creator would one day make the deck in hand. It was all virtual, this deck before. And I guess I wasn't the only one asking for that, because the creators and the artists eventually did just that. It was like a wish come true. And so it was fully funded on Kickstarter. The guidebook is one of my favorites. I'm planning on doing a video sometime in the future of my favorite guidebooks of all time. I mean, it's probably going to be a 2024 edition, because maybe in 2027 that might change. But I really love this guidebook, and I'm going to do a video and explain exactly why I like it, why I think it's a really good guidebook to have just handy on your shelf to use with other tarot decks. So yeah, the Reader's Companion is wonderful. And then we have here these are larger cards, but the cardstock has a lot of give, and I find it, I won't say it's easy to shuffle, but it's not terribly difficult. I have actually larger tarot decks. Believe it or not, they're way more difficult. And I forgive it because it's a deck I've been wanting for years. I wanted this deck for years to be in my hand, and it finally is. And I find that it reads better in my hand than it ever did on the Fool's Dog app. Here's the Eight of Pentacles. Here's the card back. It's just delightful. I used it in a reading the other day. Just 1 or 2 cards. And it just was like, yes. Yes. This deck, for me, is one of my unicorn decks. Just saying. Because I never thought it would actually ever be printed. And literally one of my Facebook friends, like tarot folk, they were like, hey, this deck is going to be made into an actual one. It's no longer just going to be something on the app. And I was like, really? And they were like, you can back it right now on Kickstarter. I'm like, oh, I'm there. And I did. And I was like, yep, I don't care. I mean, at first, like if it were up to me, it'd be slightly smaller, but I understand why it's not, because of the artwork. And I haven't used it in client readings yet. And I probably will, I'm hoping. But because when I'm on a client reading and I use jumpers, I already take up some time with just using jumpers, that I don't want to have a whole mess of cards just fumbling. So maybe what I will reserve this deck for is readings for myself, or in-person readings. I plan on in 2024 branching out in my local town, getting the word out that I do readings, and it would be easier to have it handled face to face, I think. So yeah, this deck I backed, I can't remember, was it in 2022? I don't remember, but I got it in 2023. And it doesn't disappoint. It was a rainy day few days ago. I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm like, I want to play with a deck. What deck do I want to play with? I was like, oh, the Buddha card. So I pulled it out, did a quick little 2-card reading, and I was like, oh. You know how you have some of those decks that just one card packs all the information you'll ever need. Really, truly, many decks are like that. But there's some where you're like, I want to layer upon layer all the decks or all the cards. But this one, and maybe because it's larger cards, you really only need 1 or 2. And so there you have it. So that's it, friends. That's my haul video for Tarot 2023. I don't know if I'll be doing this in 2024. We'll see. Because last time I had a low buy, no buy year in 2020, beautiful folks end up sending me and gifting me decks because they knew I was like trying not to buy any that year. What a year to try to do a depth year, by the way. That's neither here nor there. I have a whole playlist on my depth year. What an experience when everybody's going through a pandemic and here I am trying to be strong and not buy decks when my favorite form of therapy is retail therapy, right? But people were gifting them, and so I ended up having enough decks to cobble together a haul video. So we'll see how 2024 pans out. But hey, we'll see, right? We'll see what the future holds. All right, my friends, do me a favor on your way out. You know, I don't like to bug you all with this little begging and pleading at the beginning of the video. Please hit the like button. It helps me, helps the channel to grow. And subscribe if you haven't already done so. Join my little Abundant Life Tarot family over here. Share with me content. I do make a list of content ideas. In fact, one of my longtime dear subscribers, and if you're watching this, just know I remembered that you want me to create a video on decks for well-being, health type of readings. And I haven't forgotten because I plan on creating that type of offering in my shop and on my website. And I was like, that's going to be the perfect video to add to, you know, that listing. So that will be coming. So I do hear you all. I hear your suggestions. I hear you. Now I used to be able to reply to all of the comments that you all left, but because I've been so busy lately, I haven't been. But trust and believe, I get a notification when a comment goes through, and I do get a chance to briefly glance at it. But the nature of the work that I do, I usually have to silence my phone because I record readings with my phone. I'm not able to always reply back, and then the notification's gone, and I'm coming to y'all like 2-3 weeks, a month, 2 months later with a comment or a heart. But know that I generally see them, and your comments mean the world to me. And I love when you all are chit-chatting amongst each other. So please, please leave a comment because I want to hear from you. And when I finally have a little break, which I anticipate in like January, there'll be like a little bit of downtime, I'm hoping. I'll have a chance to catch up on all of them, you know? All right, my friends, that's it. We did it. There's 2 major big videos. It's now dark outside. I started this way early in the day when I started the Oracle deck haul, and now it's nighttime. Now it's time to get busy with some readings. All right, my friends, take very good care of yourselves. I'll see you all around. Bye for now.